everyone, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you all here today. We have a ton of massive pop culture and music updates to unpack, ranging from highly anticipated tour kickoffs to some very interesting artistic statements. We're going to spend a good amount of time talking about Ariana Grande because her recent public appearances at her brand new tour have a lot of her fan base feeling incredibly concerned, and there is a lot to break down regarding that situation. But before we dive into the heavy discussion surrounding Ariana, I want to talk about Tinashe. She just dropped a brand new track called Too Easy, alongside a music video just a few days ago. Now, to be totally transparent, the track itself is pretty good. It's a decent song, but what really caught my attention was the music video. The visuals are carrying a massive message, and it feels like Tinashe is taking some direct shots at the inner workings of the music industry. If you watch the opening of the video, it starts out with a wild concept. Tinashe is literally crushed by massive filming lights right on the set. But instead of people rushing to help her or calling for medical assistance, an industry executive immediately picks up the phone and starts making calls to find her replacement. From there, the video transitions into an audition scene where a bunch of different women are lined up, essentially trying to emulate Tinashe's exact style, her look, and her energy. They are trying to follow what you could call that tan pop star blueprint. It is a really crazy, loud metaphor for how major record labels function. The video is basically saying that the label will run an artist's career into the ground, completely discard them, and then instantly try to find a carbon copy who can do the exact same things they did. It shows the industry as this interchangeable machine that doesn't view artists as people, but just as formulas to recreate over and over again. What makes this industry critique even crazier is how perfectly it mirrors a massive ongoing conversation on the internet regarding how much the global music scene, specifically the K-pop industry, constantly pulls from Tinashe and other Black artists without giving proper credit. Tinashe has been an absolute blueprint for a massive number of international artists and pop groups for years now, especially when it comes to performance style, choreography, and visual concepts. The internet has been flooded with discussions about this lately. People are actively pointing out how almost every major K-pop group seems to look directly at Tinashe's work for creative influence. And the reality is, there's solid proof behind it. A K-pop artist actually went on record in an interview and openly admitted that Tinashe is a massive foundational influence for stars in that space.
Have you guys seen this on the internet? There's a bunch of people saying, like, every K-pop group looks at Tinashe for influence. Do you think it's true?
Yeah, I agree.
Have you seen this?
Yeah. The meme?
Yeah, have you seen the memes?
No, I didn't.
Oh, there's like a million memes about this, and everyone's like, she put out do you know her song Super Love?
Yeah, of course.
She put out like a song called Super Love.
Yeah,
yeah. She put out a song called Super Love, and anyway, like a year later, I don't even remember who it was, someone put out a music video and it was the exact same concept.
Yeah.
I'm like, so my question is, I'm like, do you think that it's true? Everyone, like every group looks at Tinashe as
I think it's true.
The reference.
Because, you know, this generation was trainee when Tinashe debuted.
Oh.
And that is me. So like all of us, like trainee, we always watch the new Tinashe videos or like her music videos or performances. So I think it's very obvious to get influenced by her.
Right.
And she's amazing.
When you see things like that happen repeatedly, you realize the K-pop industry honestly owes Tinashe some serious recognition and probably a massive check, to be real. But back to her new video for Too Easy, the way she handles this narrative is perfect. Even though the video shows the label executives bringing in a dummy pop star to try and replicate her formula, Tinashe shuts the entire thing down at the end. She goes into this absolutely insane, high-intensity dance break that reminds everyone listening exactly who she is. It's her way of showing the audience that people can try all they want to copy the blueprint, but they will never be able to execute it the way she does. The lyrics hit the nail on the head. She makes it look incredibly easy, but in reality, what she does takes an immense amount of unique talent. It's a phenomenal visual statement, and honestly, the video is so good that it actually made me appreciate the song a lot more. She is easily one of the most underappreciated dancers and performers in the game right now, and she deserves a lot more respect for what she gives to the culture. Speaking of incredibly talented artists who deliver top-tier visual work, I also have to shout out the British girl group Flow. They just released a brand new music video for their song Don't Break Her Heart a few days ago, and I have to say, Flow simply cannot do any wrong in my eyes. Ever since they arrived on the scene, every single song they have put out has been absolute quality. Their musical consistency is phenomenal, but what I'm really loving lately is how much they are consciously elevating their visuals. They aren't just putting out basic videos, they are actually telling real, structured stories through their music videos and giving fans cinematic experiences. They are putting out genuine effort and top-tier artistry, and they absolutely deserve a lot more mainstream support and backing than they're currently getting from the industry. In addition to FLO, there's another huge piece of music news that has me incredibly excited. Word just broke that Chloe Bailey is reportedly working on a joint mixtape with legendary producer Timbaland. When I heard this rumor, I was genuinely thrilled because we all know just how insanely gifted Chloe is. She is a total powerhouse. She can sing her face off. She's an incredible dancer, she's electric on stage, and she can even write and produce her own records. She can truly do it all. However, a common critique of her solo career so far has been that her projects sometimes feel like they lack a distinct, cohesive creative direction. That is exactly why I think pairing up with a veteran legend like Timbaland is a genius move. Timbaland is a master at taking an incredibly raw talent and acting as a mentor to help shape a definitive, iconic sound. Having that kind of structured creative guidance and mentorship could give Chloe the exact breakout solo era she's capable of having. And honestly, this collaboration is a massive win for Timbaland as well. Lately, he's been getting a lot of criticism online for experimenting with controversial AI music programs and digital vocal cloning. Fans have been begging him to step away from the computer-generated stuff and get back into a real studio with real artists. Timbaland needs a true creative muse, and working with an underrated, hyper-talented powerhouse like Chloe Bailey is exactly what he needs to remind everyone why he's a legendary producer. Now, moving on to our final topic for today, we need to have a serious, real conversation about Ariana Grande. Ariana just officially kicked off her highly anticipated Eternal Sunshine tour, starting with her very first show over in Oakland. Now, right out of the gate, I want to give credit where credit is due. Vocally, Ariana is absolutely phenomenal. She is out there singing her absolute face off every single night, hitting every difficult arrangement, and delivering the flawless vocal performance that she is known for. From a purely musical standpoint, she is never going to disappoint her audience. However, despite the incredible vocal performance, a massive portion of the internet and her fan base isn't talking about the music at all right now. Instead, people are expressing intense, deep concern over her physical appearance. Unedited photos and videos from the opening night in Oakland have been circulating heavily on social media, and a lot of people are admitting that they are genuinely scared for her because she looks incredibly thin and physically exhausted on stage. Now, look, commenting on a public figure's body is always a highly sensitive subject. It's something we usually want to avoid judging because the reality is that the public doesn't know what an individual is going through behind closed doors, what personal stress they are managing, or what specific health issues they might be navigating. But the conversation surrounding Ariana's well-being isn't new. It has been steadily growing for months now, stretching all the way back to when she was actively filming and promoting the movie Wicked. During that entire press run, fans heavily documented how thin she was looking. It even sparked a wider discussion online about the environment on that specific movie set, with people pointing out that her co-star, Cynthia Erivo, also looked incredibly lean. It led to a lot of speculation about whether the cast was dealing with extreme physical pressure or high-stress environments during that long production. Many assumed that after the movie wrapped, Ariana would take time to rest, but seeing her physical frame at the launch of this tour has amplified those worries significantly. The response online has created an absolute civil war across social media platforms. On one hand, you have a massive group of protective fans who are aggressively going after anyone who expresses worry. They are claiming that any commentary on her weight is inherently toxic, that it constitutes body shaming, and that the public needs to practice unconditional body positivity, especially since Ariana herself has previously asked fans not to discuss or dissect her physical form. But on the other side of the debate, a growing number of people are arguing that using body positivity as a shield to completely ignore visible physical depletion can be incredibly harmful. There are commentators pointing out that her stage outfits seem explicitly designed to put her frame on full display, leading to a broader discussion among fans about how severe exhaustion and health struggles can actually distort a person's perception of reality.
Ariana Grande allegedly might not be able to finish her 2026 tour. There's a new blind item claiming that Ariana Grande's insurance premiums for the Eternal Sunshine Tour were allegedly almost triple the normal cost because companies were worried she might not actually finish the tour. People have been concerned about Ariana for months now. Fans keep pointing out how thin and exhausted she looks, especially during the Wicked press run.
No, this picture is not edited whatsoever. This is Ariana Grande at her first show of the Eternal Sunshine Tour yesterday in Oakland. And obviously many people are talking about this on social media, but the problem is there are so many fans of hers that are defending her and going at people that are, concerned about this. Saying things like that's body shaming and that we all need to be body positive. But in my opinion, you can only be so body positive. It gets to a point where this is very harmful.
This is a message to everybody who is working on this tour. Do your job. She needs to be in rehab. She should not be touring right now. Do your job. And somehow get her into a rehab. Because guess what? You're not going to have a job. You will not have a job if this tour continues on the way that it currently is. This is not okay.
I'm sorry, at this point there is no amount of pearl clutching, of don't talk about people's bodies, of she asked us not to discuss her body. This is not normal. Like, at what point does somebody host an intervention and say this is not normal? She doesn't need to be on tour, she needs to be hospitalized. And I am so for real. This looks like a person who is about 1 or 2 months away from organ failure. That's the level of malnourished that we're seeing. And you could hear it in her voice and you could see it in her movements. You should not be able to see someone's ribcage like this from the front. Like, what are we doing? And I know her defenders are like, oh, we don't know what's going on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whether she is ill in some other way or whether she is besties with Anna, she needs a hospital.